my kids were young. My husband had just left for Afghanistan. I was already overwhelmed, but we needed a children's director at our church. And I kept seeing the advertisement or the, announcement for it. And I would love that job. And I thought that initially. I thought, oh, I would love to do that. That would be something that I would really be interested in. But then I thought, I don't have time for that. Am I really going to take on a part-time job, in another town, 20 minutes away? It wasn't far, but it was another town. And I'm like, am I really going to take on something extra whenever my husband is gone, my kids are young, and I'm already overwhelmed? And so I put it out of my head. Then the next Sunday rolled around and it comes, I'm like, man, I would really love that, but it's just not the right time, whatever. And then I would think, it's far away. And then I would think, oh, and then that person is in charge of VBS and they have to decorate for VBS. And I'm not a decorator. Like, I'm a teacher. I, love children and I love the Bible, but I don't love, decorating, and that's not my thing. And so, I can't be that whole person, maybe I'll just help with the kids, whatever. And so I just kept putting it out of my mind. But then the kids were going to camp. Somebody needed to fill out the forms and talk with the person and all of that. And so I kind of started doing some of that. And then I started having people come to me. No longer was it just in my head. People started saying, have you thought about doing this? You already kind of doing some things. Have you thought about doing this? I'm like, yeah, I thought about it, but, and I start telling them all the things, and they're like, you don't have to work here. You can work from home. We don't care. You don't have to drive up here all the time. I'm like, oh, well, that helps. And then I'll tell them about the VBS, and they're like, you don't have to decorate. You just have to get someone to decorate. You just have to make sure that it gets done. I'm like, okay. And so over and over until finally I'm like, okay, this is God. God is telling me to do this. This isn't just something in my head that it's like, oh, I'd enjoy that, but it's not working. And so God kept prompting me until I did it. And I loved that job. And I did it until it just wasn't viable anymore for me to do.